The truth behind precisely how certain important characters bit the dust, the real reason a super intelligent robot bonded with a lonely human, and many more unanticipated movie revelations all made audiences realize there was more to the following features than initially met the eye. Oh yeah, and just so you know, spoilers ahead! I am Gareth here from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 more everything you know is a lie moments in movies. Number 10. Quentin Beck's heroism is all an illusion. Spider-Man Far From Home. After seemingly taking down a bunch of elemental beings on Earth, this Mysterio bloke from another corner of the newly introduced multiverse is recruited by Nick Fury and Maria Hill before eventually joining forces with an Edith-boasting Peter Parker. But our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man eventually deciding that Quentin Beck was more worthy of the all-powerful artificial intelligence kit than him, suddenly brought with it the reveal that this affable hero was anything but. In a masterfully performed swerve, Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio is soon seen celebrating with his fellow scheming one-time Stark Industry employees, as it's revealed that his apparent elemental victories, and even the location of his recent conversation with Parker, were all made possible thanks to advanced projectors creating this virtual lie. And with Beck ultimately combining his supreme holograms with Edith's orbital weaponized drones in his quest to present himself as Earth's new mightiest hero, Spidey's world was never really the same. Number 9. ZURG isn't Buzz's father after all. Lightyear. The reveal of Big Bad ZURG being present in the Toy Story spin-off known as Lightyear surely meant only one thing. At some point in the action, this terrifying purple robot commander would reveal himself as Buzz's father, much like he was in Toy Story 2 all those years ago. But director Angus MacLane had a different idea. After trying to fit that father angle into his Chris Evans starring creation, he soon realized that folks would simply be sat there waiting for the inevitable reveal. So the call was made to instead have ZURG eventually be revealed as none other than the main man himself from the future. This shocking move was designed to highlight how Lightyear's biggest enemy was actually himself, with the driven older alternate timeline version being willing to sacrifice younger Buzz's friends in order to go back in time and ensure his colony's ship never crash-landed onto Carney Prime. Just when Toy Story fans thought they had all the answers, this strange prequel/spin-off/origin story went and blasted one hell of a swerve into theaters. Now, what is your favorite Pixar entry so far? Will you let me know in that comment section right down there, you? Number 8. Adelaide was a tethered the whole time. Us. It's established early into Jordan Peele's Us that a young Adelaide was involved in a rather frightening doppelganger incident. Fast forward a few years, and Addie and her family eventually once again come face to face with that same doppelganger and her family. But things take an even more unsettling turn after Addie's son Jason is kidnapped by Red late on, with Red explaining how the rest of the cloned humans felt she was different from the others. Adelaide proceeds to battle with her counterpart before viciously killing Red in front of her baby boy. And it was the way his mother savagely took down the red suit wearing apparent copy that seemingly planted a seed in young Jason's mind as he watched on, or even just heard the moment from a locker nearby. Sure enough, his supposed mother is soon seen remembering how she was actually the tethered who showed up in that funhouse all those years earlier, with Red dragging Addie down into the depths and leaving her there as she assumed the role of Adelaide. And right when we realize Addie was actually a tethered in disguise all along, a suspicious Jason appears to do the very same while sat beside his ambulance-driving mom. Number 7. Teddy Daniels is actually an inmate. Shutter Island. As Shutter Island's investigation unfolds, it becomes clear that US Marshal Teddy Daniels specifically took this particular case as a way of getting closer to Andrew Laedis, the person responsible for killing his wife in a house fire, who he believes is actually on the island too. But everything you thought you knew about this tale is shattered to pieces during a jaw-dropping final act. It's eventually revealed that this entire investigation was little more than an elaborate roleplay created by Dr. John Corley. The aim of the fake investigation was to help Teddy realize that he was actually Laedis. Andrew, also a US Marshal, had killed his depressed wife after she murdered their 3 children, creating the Edward Daniels fantasy as a way of coping with his horrific crime. Laedis had actually been living this lie for 2 years as the events of the flick got underway, with his apparent relapse again at movie's end finally resulting in him being lobotomized. Number 6. Quill learns how his mother really died. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. After his mother had tragically died of brain cancer, a distraught eventual Star-Lord fled the hospital, only to be zapped up into space by the Ravagers. So it wasn't difficult to understand why the orphan jumped at the chance to get to know his celestial father Ego in Volume 2. But it was during that father-son bonding that an absolutely horrendous truth changed everything Peter Peter Quill thought he knew about his poor mother's demise back in 1988. It turns out that Ego actually planted the deadly tumor in Meredith's brain due to him fearing that she'd distract him from his precious expansion mission. What an a-hole! As expected, it wasn't long before this mother-killing long-lost pops was finally taken down by the Guardians, but at the cost of Quill's real daddy's life. Number 5, Your Name is Arthur, right? Joker. A troubled Arthur Fleck is seen bonding and eventually spending a decent amount of time with his neighbor Sophie Dumont throughout Joker. After learning he was adopted and eventually abused by his mother's boyfriend as a child, viewers still had every reason to believe the pair's relationship was legit. However, the moments that follow Arthur's unexpected arrival, with Sophie finding him on the couch and asking the person she'd only really met in passing to leave her home, soon revealed that the two's time together had been nothing more than a figment of Fleck's imagination. As Arthur takes in Sophie pleading for him to not harm her sleeping daughter, the audience, and seemingly Arthur himself, are left to deal with a chilling bombshell that proves everything you thought you knew about the apparent lovebirds was a somewhat disturbing lie. Number 4, Ava was manipulating Caleb all along, Ex Machina. In an attempt to test whether or not his artificially intelligent robot possessed true consciousness, Blue Book CEO Nathan Bateman deliberately brought in one of his company's programmers, Caleb, to secretly see if Ava could convince him to fall in love with her and help her escape. And as 2014's consistently mesmerizing Ex Machina reaches its climax, it's revealed that Caleb actually realized Nathan had been studying the two secret chats and had still found a way to successfully aid Ava in her attempts to flee Bateman's secluded home. From here, the highly intelligent android was finally able to get out of her room and kill her creator. However, just when you thought you had this whole thing worked out, Ava goes and pulls the biggest swerve of all shortly after her great escape. Ava had actually masterfully manipulated Caleb into falling in love with her, using the lonely soul to help her break out of her prison, before not thinking twice about leaving him locked inside of Nathan's home as she embarked on her new life in the real world. Number 3, the ancient truth is revealed, the cabin in the woods. The cabin in the woods begins with a scene involving a few lab engineers discussing a mysterious operation in Stockholm before alluding to an employee betting pool. And as this horrific comedy unfolds, it soon becomes clear that these lab coats were actually all in on what appeared to be a very peculiar experiment, one that involved the team unleashing various different monsters on a group of random teens during a weekend break. It was only after the final two survivors, Dana and Marty, discovered said underground facility and unleashed the many horrifying creatures within, though, that the truth behind this operation was revealed. In a hilariously shocking final few minutes, the leader of this facility informs the pair that they were actually part of a sacred ritual. Fancy that. And with all the other rituals failing this time around, if this particular bunch of slasher movie archetypes weren't killed, the world would be reclaimed by the ancient ones below who once ruled the planet. These two oblivious American students, along with the majority of the planet, had absolutely no clue they were only ever a few failed rituals away from extinction each and every year. But not even the director's late bombshell could keep Dana and Marty from deciding that the human race likely deserved this ancient fate, as they enjoyed one last joint in the moment's pre-Giant Hand arrival. Number 2, Hans isn't Prince Charming after all, Frozen. The only thing to keep Anna from dying after accidentally having her heart frozen by her sister in Frozen was an act of true love. And just when it looks like the film's Prince Charming himself, Hans, is about to plant one on his beloved, the animated a-hole delivers the coldest of all Disney twists. If only there was someone out there who loved you, were the words that cemented the fact that Hans and Anna's love had actually been little more than a lie created by the former to ensure he ended up on the Arendelle throne in the end. And while this shocking turn of events initially looked to spell doom for the Arendelle siblings, that despicable Hans wasn't counting on the power of sisterly love, was he? Who needs true love's kiss when you've got a Snow Queen sister backing you up, eh? Number 1, Miles wasn't supposed to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Early on in Into the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales is suddenly chomped on by a glitching radioactive spider with the number 42 on it. That moment set the soon-to-be hero on the path to becoming his universe's second Spider-Man, in the wake of Peter Parker's sudden death. But little did Miles know, he was never actually supposed to be bitten by that particular spider. It was revealed in the sequel that this creepy crawly was sent to his universe by Jonathan Owen, after the eventual Spot brought it here whilst testing the collider. That biting event then resulted in Miles becoming an anomaly, with Earth 42 spider popping up in Miles' universe, leading to the destabilizing of the entire multiverse. It also meant that Earth 42 was left Spider-Man-less, and not long after having his universe turned upside down by Miguel O'Hara's shocking revelation, Miles then unexpectedly came face to face with the prowling consequences of that particular spider being sucked into Earth 1610. And that's our list. Of any other Everything You Know Is a Lie moments in movies? Well, let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and don't forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're down there. Also, if you like this kind of stuff, then please head on over to whatculture.com and find some more fantastic articles just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I've been Gareth from whatculture.com. Cheers for watching this video today, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye bye!